people had a very similar answer there. Next volunteer, please, to read. Just looking for hands up. Arabella, please. Oh, sorry, we've already had Arabella read. Sorry about that. Just checking those who have not yet read. Jeremiah, please.
Jack was scared. He was walking through an abandoned railway station on his way home. He came this way because it was a lot quicker, but he was regretting his decision. His hairs on his neck were stood up like soldiers in a parade. His heart was racing and his stomach churned as he paced through the creepy yard. He tried to stay under the colossal shadows of the huge Asian steam trains. Then something strange happened. A light appeared in one of the driver carriages of the train. Hesitantly, Jack stopped and looked back. He could not see anyone in the driver's carriage. Jack had a decision to make. His head told him to go back home and get out all of as quickly as possible. His heart told him to go and explore the strange light. Jack made his decision. He sprinted over to the carriage and heaved the door open. It creaked loudly and some dust dropped out onto the floor. Jack started to walk through the old carriage, which had rotten floorboards. As he got to the old-fashioned handle that led into the driver's compartment, he paused for a moment and he took a deep breath and opened the door.
Thank you. Okay, how do we know that Jack is scared? What is the evidence that suggests that he's scared? 3 minutes. Okay, so we've had some really good suggestions of how we know that Jack is scared. We know he was terrified because his hairs on his neck were stood up like soldiers. His heart was racing, his stomach churned. He also regretted taking the shortcut. And they're all signs of being scared. When he saw the light, one of his options was also to flee as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for that. Okay, next volunteer. Could I have Mina Sui, please?
The bulls never wanted.
Yep, Mina.
The bulls never wanted washing. The boys polished them with their spoons again till they shone again, and when they had performed this operation, which never took very long. The spoons being nearly as large as the bowls, they could sit staring at the copper with such eager eyes as if they could have devoured the very bricks of which it was composed, employing themselves meanwhile in sucking their fingers as assiduously with the view of patching up any stray splashes of gruel that might have been cast thereon.
Thank you. From this passage, what can we infer about the boys' lives? 3 minutes. Point, evidence, explanation, please. Thank you very much for the suggestions of what we can infer about the boys' lives. Yes, they perhaps live in an orphanage. The boys never wanted washing, which is intriguing because they polished them. So they're eating every single morsel until the bowls shone. And the spoons were nearly as large as the bowls, which suggests that the bowls are not very large. And so therefore they don't have very much to eat. And they would sit staring at the copper with such eager eyes, suggests that, and the copper is the kitchen where the food is prepared, eager eyes, they're waiting in anticipation for their food. They're sucking their fingers, which suggests that they are absolutely starving hungry. So this is indeed an excerpt from Oliver Twist. Some had guessed that successfully. They are famished, somebody said there, indeed. Okay, could I have, I'm just looking for some suggestions. Of who would like to read now? Spandan, please.
The wheels of the coach creaked and groaned as they sank into the ruts on the road, and sometimes they flung up the soft, spattered mud against the windows, where it mingled with the constant driving rain, and whatever view there might have been of the countryside was hopelessly obscured. The few passengers huddled together for warmth, exclaiming in unison when the coach sank into a heavier rut than usual, and one old fellow who had kept up a constant complaint ever since he had joined the coach at Truro, rose from his seat in a fury and fumbling with the window sash, let down the window down with a crash, bringing a shower of rain upon himself and his fellow passengers. He thrust his head out and shouted up to the driver, cursing him in a high petulant voice for rude rogue and murderer, that they would all be dead before they reached Bodmin, if he persisted in driving at breakneck speed. They had no breath left in their bodies, as it was, and he for one would never travel by coach again.
Thank you very much. What can we infer about the time period of this extract, and why are the passengers cross? A few minutes there again. Right, so the wheels of the coach creaked and groaned. Now, this doesn't sound like a modern day coach, does it? We don't have wheels that creak and groaned. And flying up soft spattered mud against the windows doesn't sound like a modern day tarmacked road, does it? And the passengers are cold, we know, because they're huddling together for warmth. The modern day coach would have heating and a heavier rut than normal, a window sash as well. We don't tend to have coaches with window sashes. That's a very old-fashioned design of a window. And so this suggests that this is something that's perhaps a very old-fashioned coach a while ago in the past, and the passengers are cross because the driver is driving quite carelessly and is going at breakneck speed, which suggests that he's going too fast and he is hitting the holes in the road, which is causing a very uncomfortable journey for them.